believe it or not, they're rude. They don't say thank you or hold the door for anybody.
Really?
And they're like that in life. They're just generally rude overall. And I personally, I think they should possibly be let go.
Prophets to the prophets, hear the call.
Welcome to Prophets to the Prophets podcast, where all things are possible when love is your bottom line. All are welcome here. Entrepreneurs, business professionals, tradespeople, VCs, MCs, and even members of the Bee Gees are all welcome. Give us 20 minutes, and I think you'll get something out of this, at least a good laugh. I'm Steve.
I'm Al.
How's everybody doing out there? Going to have a great discussion here in a minute about something that's cancerous in not just a company, but just in life, and that is
you use the C word, dude.
Yeah,
that's really serious.
Oh yeah.
True.
I'll tell you what. Well, we won't even tell people just at the moment. It's kind of like a little tease. What is cancerous? Not only in your company or your workplace, but life. Think about that, and then see if you come up with what we're going to talk about. But before we do, let's talk about something that's even just about as serious as cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the dilemma, the paradox of whether or not to hold the door open for somebody that's walking behind you into a business establishment.
Hey! What? Why didn't you keep the door open? Oh.
I think time and space warp when you hold somebody's door for them.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
God forbid it's at a busy restaurant.
Oh my gosh. Because there's a lot of things that can go down when you hold the door, especially for people coming out. Well, it doesn't matter, coming out or walking in.
Yeah.
You might be there for a while.
I know. And so I have 3 boys, and we've taught them to hold the door first. They run ahead of everyone, hold the door, and then you look back and you think, and I tried to once I realized, like, people just keep on coming.
And they don't care.
And my sons are like, I don't know what to do.
Have you ever seen those people that like see the door open and they start like jogging?
Yeah.
to make it.
And it's like not even really, they're not going any faster. They're just making that jogging movement. So to indicate, I don't want you to have to wait for me.
I'm putting extra effort in here.
Okay. So if I do come up to the door and I see somebody holding it and there is like a train of people that you could tell that they've been standing there for an extra 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I will actually grab the door for them and I'll take over. Like a baton pass, right?
Wow.
You ever do that?
I do. I'm like, hey, I got it, man. And you're like, hey, thanks. And then you know what I do? Let it go.
Because you gotta let it go on someone.
I have no problem handing it off. Like I'm like, oh, here you go. And I'll give it to the next person.
Right.
And I think that's the appropriate thing.
I think so too. Right. And then finally on that topic is probably the one behavior that can maybe set people off, especially obviously the person holding the door, and that is when someone doesn't do what?
They don't open the door, or they don't hold it?
Are you looking for like a magic word?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
They
Which
don't
one?
say thank you.
Oh, you're right.
And they just walk right through. Now then you have the type of person that is holding the door to get that thank you. And so if they're aggravated, they'll say, "You're welcome."
Oh.
Andrew and Luke from the
Downtime
podcast. Thank you, Sophia, for giving me a half a second to come out with the next word.
You looked like you were struggling.
She's so helpful.
So I've been out in public with them, and believe it or not, they're rude. They don't say thank you or hold the door for anybody.
Really?
And they're like that in life. They're just generally rude overall. And I personally, I think they should possibly be let go.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they're rude. They don't care about people. Have you ever noticed that they don't care about people?
Dude, what are you talking about?
You notice it. They don't like people. They're rude.
Oh.
They're mean.
I'm going to send this to them.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second because that brings us to the topic of the day. And the topic of the day is...
gossip. That's what you were getting at. I'm like thinking, dude, the whole time I'm like, he's trash talking my homies, right? Like, and I know you like them too. I'm thinking like, this isn't true. Like,
Gossip is cancer is the topic of the day, and that's I set that up pretty good.
Dude, you got it me good.
No one
man.
can ever tell when Steve is joking or not.
Yeah, I thought you really didn't like them. Like, I thought, man, I'm gonna have to fire Luke and
that is our topic.
Andrew.
We're talking about gossip and how that can be cancerous and how that can really just upset a lot of things, not only in a workplace or in a business, but at home with your family, with friends. So we're going to talk about that today.
It's a serious situation.
Yeah.
You think about, like, honestly, there is whole platforms of existence online that they're almost, when you think about it, half of it is gossip.
Yeah.
And now there's the news and information and then the topical stuff people talk about, but a lot of it could be just construed as gossip.
Yeah.
It almost is like a natural thing in our world.
It's not almost a natural thing. It is a natural thing.
Oh.
So it's an instinct that I think we have, and it stems from so many things. So insecurity specifically.
Oh, that's interesting. What do you mean when you say that? Like, how is gossip fostered by insecurity?
Yeah. Well, do you want to people? I mean, it's natural. People want to kind of put themselves, elevate themselves, and a lot of people, most people, I think the only way to elevate themselves is to bring other people down. And there's positioning and there's reasons for gossip that go beyond just wanting to talk bad about somebody. Sometimes it's about trying to influence, whether a manager or a boss or an owner. And there's people and gossip works. Unfortunately, in many cases, you'll have people talk about somebody else, and those words, they sit with someone and they influence them into thinking that this person may or may not be like what this person's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't realize how powerful our voice is. Our tongue. Like, even in God's word, it talks about our tongue being like a raging fire. You know what I mean? Like, it could be out of control even.
Right.
And what's interesting about it, but why don't we just take a moment and define what gossip is?
Let's do it.
So gossip involves speaking about somebody that isn't there, but it's not like speaking well of them.
Right.
Like, I don't think you can definitely speak about somebody behind their back without them being there in a light that is positive, encouraging, uplifting.
That's not gossip.
That's not gossip. We're talking about if you say something negative, complaining, right? Slandering, even like private stuff that you're speaking about. What's funny? This is what I think is funny. You can say gossip is, you ever ask somebody to pray for someone else? Mm-hmm. You'd be like, hey, Sophia, can you pray for Steve? Like, pretend you're not here. Okay? You're pretending?
You should turn around.
Close your eyes.
Turn around.
Like you're not here.
Put your hands over your face.
Hey, Sophia, we got to pray for Steve, right? He's got a rash in places that no one should know about.
I believe that.
No, now that is actually gossip.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that might be private. Maybe you shared that with me, and I'm sharing it with now Sophia in the light of, hey, Steve needs prayer. I didn't check with you, right?
Right.
I mean, you shared this with now the whole public knows you
I
have
don't
a rash.
have a rash. I don't have a rash.
He's lying.
But it's
No,
like
I'm kidding.
covert gossip. It's like it's veiled gossip.
Yeah, right. And it's done under the guise of prayer. That's sad. That happens a lot. Like, in fact, it gives me knots in my stomach when I hear it happening.
Yeah.
And I almost want to say, whoa. And I do sometimes. Did they know that you just asked
Yeah.
someone else? What's funny is we have this prayer line at our church, and you can't bring up someone else's prayer to this prayer line. Like that, you only can tell the prayer line if you are calling about yourself, which I think is really good, because you don't want, if you haven't gotten permission to share this about somebody, the prayer line could be gossiping. And when I found that out, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I didn't even realize it was happening. But, so think about like talking bad about somebody, but hold on. It doesn't always too have to be something not true. Like people think gossip is not true. It could be. I think gossip sometimes 90% of the time is true stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so some people say, well, I'm not saying anything that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So they sit on that.
Right.
I'm not like lying about somebody or making stuff up, but it's still gossip because it should be kept private, or it shouldn't be negative about someone who's not there.
Right. And then it's also, if the person speaking of a problem doesn't have the solution also to back up, you can talk about somebody, hey, somebody's done this, somebody's done that, and you got to tread very carefully there. But if the motive isn't to correct the situation, and then the person receiving the gossip, okay?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Right?
Because it's like, for someone like me, I'm not the type to be, straightforward and say, hey, stop talking about this person. I want to, they're not here. I'm more like, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable about bringing it up. And so I'll listen to more than I should. But I do try to, kind of take the conversation into another direction.
Try to distract
or
them.
do maybe a little bit of defense, or come up with, a reason why they may have done something. Well, we don't know, this and that. But the person receiving the gossip.
Yeah, that's right. It affects them. In fact, it talks about in Proverbs 16:28 that, a perverse person stirs up conflict, and gossip separates close friends. Like that's even in Proverbs 18:8, really interesting, like you talking about, it affects something. When someone gives gossip, the word of gossips are like morsels, it says, that go down in the innermost parts of the body. And they're talking about the person receiving the gossip, like you said. They're taking something in their body that is not good.
Yeah.
And that's obvious, right? You almost get poisoned. And I'm so glad when we define it the way we have, let me just kind of recap. We're talking about something that is behind someone's back that necessarily could be negative, but at risk, it just could be private that you should not be sharing.
Right.
Just a fact even about your rash, right? That is absolutely something that's private.
Don't listen to him. Yes.
So I think we covered a good view of the definition, and even adding in some of the things that God's word says. But there is every form in all aspects of platforms, whether it's just talking to each other, face-to-face, in every work, church, home situation. Gossip is everywhere, and it could be online. It could be in the DMs. It could be on the text. It could be on the snaps, on the twits, everywhere.
You're so with the times.
I'm all over.
And what is it about gossip that makes it so intriguing and kind of, exciting?
Well, I love the idea that sometimes you know something. So my mom trained me like this, okay? Nani, don't be mad I'm bringing you up. But my mom would always say, when I'm going somewhere, come back, so how was it, honey? What's going on? And she would always ask me a bunch of questions. I love my mom for that. Taught me how to question things. But she would be almost disappointed, maybe mad, if I didn't have the whole scoop.
What's
is
the
what
scoop,
she would say.
Bert?
She would always say, what's the scoop? We got to get the whole scoop, Bertie, she would say. And I'm like, Ma, what do you mean? And she wanted all the information. So she taught me how to question things. So I learned how to get information. Now, going back to my mom just having a conversation about what my day was or what happened at my friend's house, or, I heard about this is happening, taught me really like, oh, I get a little benefit from knowing some information. And then when I can share it, oh, yeah. Here's a cookie, Bertie. No. But it's a natural thing. Like our families foster that, right? And I don't think until I was probably several years into being a father that I even realized I was actually helping my children gossip. So sometimes later on I would be like, they come home with some information and I'd be like, whoa. You probably might not want to share that about that person. Well, I want to ask advice about how I'm going to handle it. Well, do I need to know, right? Let's just understand, like, did you go to other people? I would say this to them. Did you go to other people and try to get advice? Well, I just talked to my friend so-and-so. Oh, let's just stop this right now. Like, don't talk to this about don't talk to this or talk about this to anyone. Yeah, you're going to come to me for advice. That's fine. You can go to your dad and your mom or your pastor and say, hey, I don't know how to handle this situation. And if that's your intention, I think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you asked 5 people about this scenario and this and that, you're really gossiping,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're spreading things through. And we do it in the guise, oh, I want to get counsel. How many counsels do you need, right, about a situation?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know that, and when you gossip, you get a little bit ahead of adrenaline.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good for the moment, but as believers, I would hope it pricks your conscience. Your spirit is telling you the whole time. You know this because we've all done it as believers. That little like, oh, I definitely need to stop right here. But it's just like you're getting a reaction out of the person and sharing, like Sophia said, you kind of like come together, and it's just like about a person. But then after, I definitely feel it immediately, like I was gossiping there. I shouldn't have been. So as believers, we need to do what when we get to that point? If we get to a point where we're starting to gossip, what should we do?
Repent.
Just stop, right?
You got to stop and ask forgiveness.
Just stop.
Honestly, and don't not ask forgiveness though.
And I think it's also, if you get to that point, it is also important to stop and tell the person, I'm gossiping right now. I shouldn't be doing this.
That's good advice.
Yeah. Yep. And then fast for a week.
Yeah.
Without water.
That's right. And wear all your clothes inside out. What are you talking about?
He's gossiping right there. He's got to wear your underwear outside of your pants.
That's right. That's it for a week.
So Kind Equip, your company has a no gossiping policy. And, that's probably hard, if not impossible, to enforce. But tell me about that.
What's interesting about that, the first year or two after launching that concept, I did explain a little bit of what that means. But what I noticed 2-3 years after is that people transferred that to not ever speaking about conflict. Mm-hmm. So they went like in an extreme.
Oh, okay. I like this, where we're going with
so
this. Okay.
There was, what I started uncovering was, and people had great intentions. They just didn't want to say anything bad about someone. Because again, we said, hey, if you're saying something negative about somebody, and so I started to learn actually how I'm supposed to explain it to people. Because what was happening is people were not actually going to management and saying, hey, this person's a problem. They did this. They were just like, oh, well, I just don't want to gossip. Right?
Right.
And you said it earlier. If you say something about someone to someone who can't solve the problem, that's gossip.
Yeah.
Like you go to a third party who's not involved and they can't solve the problem, it's probably gossip. Even what you're saying might be true, but because that person can't help you and they can't solve it, right? And so gossip isn't always just like slander, meaning like a made up thing. It could be a real thing. And so I had to teach people, and we still have to continue any new employees and just the onboarding process and mentoring people. Mm-hmm. Hey, you need to speak to somebody about what's going on. So that's why you have a manager.
Right.
And if the manager is the problem, then go to somebody above them. And you need to do it quickly, and you need to do it directly. And you can absolutely talk directly to the person that's the issue and just work out your issues together so there's not gossip. But what you cannot do is you cannot go to the person next to you on the same level as you.
Right.
Or someone so obscure out of the realm of your department and just tell them about the complaint without it being solved. Mm-hmm. So like if I were to say Sophia and you, because I am a boss, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say Sophia and you don't have a manager role, we'll say, and you guys talk to each other about a third person, then you're actually gossiping, even if it's true.
Right.
So what I would ask Sophia to do if you were telling her something, I would say, hey, Sophia, you hear Steve has a complaint about something? Ask them to go directly with you to the manager or that person to help fix it. Mm-hmm. That eliminates it being gossip.
Yep.
That's our actual mandate, is that if you receive gossip, you should say to that person, hey, let's go and talk to that person about this. Mm-hmm. Or let's go talk to your manager. Or, hey, my manager is really good at handling this stuff. Here, come on, let's go talk to him. And that's all you're required to do, right? And if you do that, then you just squash gossip because there's going to be a solution, right? And that's the goal, right? So that's kind of how we handle it.
Yep. Gossip is just, it's something you have to purge from your life because it will eat you up from the inside. It will actually have an effect on you. And, finally, if you are with somebody who's gossiping, you can reasonably expect that person's going to do what?
Gossip about you.
Gossip about you. So be very aware of that.
Dude, that's very wise.
Yeah.
Not if you gossip about them first. No, I'm joking.
Not if you... Hold on. Let's not move on from this yet because Matthew 18, 15 through 17 is actually a roadmap on how to handle issues that you have in the correct way, right? And I want to just put that out there so you guys can do some reading about it. It's a godly way to just, again, gossip happens usually because something did happen. Like it's real. A lot of times people complain about other people because of real things. But God says that we're supposed to go privately to somebody directly and solve our issues with them. Yeah. And then if that doesn't work, you can add another person with you to go directly to that person. And if that doesn't work, you can get a congregation of people, meaning managers, leaders, whatever it might be at work or at home, and then go talk to that person. That's a process that God wants us to go through to reach somebody with a conflict and restore relationships. Because guess what happens when you gossip? It divides. Yeah. It ruins, like it says in his word in Proverbs. Yeah. It ruins friends. Yeah. And let's stop ruining friends out there. Yeah. Yeah,
because like I said, when you do share information with people, they take it in as truth. Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of people, maybe most people, don't actually filter out things. They hear something and they just assume it's true. Yep. And then the next time they see that person that they heard about, they're like, oh, that's the guy with the rash. That's right. I'm going to stay away from him.
And then there's another level where sometimes people try to get around it by being extremely vague. And then that causes more problems because you got the person who's listening like, oh, is it this person? Oh, is it that person?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it could probably. Yeah. And you might think, oh, I'm not gossiping about them because I'm not giving any information.
I heard about this guy, someone at work. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, like, I know someone who has a rash. We should pray for them.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a great discussion. I know you're hungry, but before we get out of here to eat lunch, it's time for...
the deal of the day?
Something fun.
Oh, I thought it was...
It's the deal of the day. You on a different podcast?
I thought we were on Price is Right. Sorry.
Very simple, something fun today because, it's way past lunchtime. Quick little joke.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm sitting down.
It's 9 minutes past lunchtime.
What did the horse... Oh, go ahead, Sophia.
No, Sophia,
I already said my bit.
Sophia, go ahead.
I called you guys old because it's 9 minutes past lunchtime.
Okay, all right. Go ahead,
It's
Sophia.
1 o'clock. It's 1:10.
Yeah.
I hit it 11.
Oh, okay.
You want to say that again?
Here we go. Something fun. What did the horse say after it tripped?
Very
close.
Oh, okay.
This horse spoke, so I guess it's the one from the Old Testament. Help! I've fallen and I can't giddy up.
Oh.
Do you need Life Alert?
Dude, that is such an old man joke right there.
All right, so that's it for this episode of Prophets to the Prophets podcast. Make sure you connect with us anywhere and everywhere that we are. I won't even say where we are because every time I say something, Sophia goes, we're not there yet. We don't have that account yet.
You should know more about your own podcast.
Sophia, go ahead, Sophia.
Go ahead.
Go on.
I'm the one who makes the shorts. I'm just going to clip all of this.
I remember.
I'm going to make you guys look like jerks.
I remember, what is the profit of man?
To gain the whole world but lose his soul.
Prophets to the prophets, here we go. Building up your life so you stand tall. Faith and fire driving every beat. Salvation party where the holy meet.